Time goes back to this morning. At this moment, Ryan is still lying in bed, checking the progress of the quest on his phone. Yesterday, he went to the police station and was lectured by Captain Lee until early morning. He came back and fell asleep directly. The completion rate of the quest is unexpectedly at 90%, which is quite good. He continues to swipe the screen. Huh? What is this? Congratulations on receiving Quinn Wong's missing person notice. Introduction of the props. Every day I am searching for the person I killed myself. She always seems to find me every morning. Her belongings always end up on my bed. I clearly bricked her into the wall, but it's as if she has burrowed into my heart. Is this why Quinn Wong keeps running back to the apartment? We really don't understand the world of lunatics. But is this fucking considered a reward? It looks more like a punishment given by the system. Just when Ryan was complaining about the black phone, LSU suddenly ran in from outside. Boss, you appeared on TV. The girl is as excited as if she were on TV herself. She just blew my mind. Turn on the TV, the news headline is on. A breaking news report about the capture of the criminal at Peaceful Apartment is now being broadcast. Ryan also received a new title, Enthusiastic Citizen. Boss, this person is you. I recognized at a glance, it must be you. This is my first time. The first time seeing someone I know on TV. Seeing LSU praise herself like this, Ryan can only show off a little too. Just at this moment, the phone rang again. I took a look and it turned out to be a notification for the new scene setup. It's not that amazing, is it? Can Adventure House automatically set up scenes too? With a turn of the picture, Adventure House, 3rd floor. Looking at the refreshed layout in front of him, Ryan couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. One evening, and the entire 3rd floor is changed. This is like saving on renovation costs. After a brief stroll, Ryan discovered that the internal structure of this new scene was similar to that of the Peaceful Apartment. An atmosphere of unease and pain pervaded the area. Dozens of traps were installed throughout. Many rooms were interconnected, with several hidden macabre Easter eggs inside. It was crafted to be exactly like the real thing. He hit the jackpot this time. Since that's the case, little Ella, upgrade the equipment. Add a new scene, and now we're open for business. LSU was also excited at the news. This girl has probably been eager for this for a long time. Half a block later, outside Adventure House. Looking at this line stretching for several hundred meters. I didn't expect that after 2 live streams, the ghost house effect is actually so good. In just a few days, I will be able to meet the requirements for expanding Ghost House, Ryan thought. At this time, another prompt popped up on the phone. Congratulations. You have won the costume of the skull-crushing doctor. Item description. Clowry worked in a mental hospital for 20 years. Due to his long exposure to patients, his mental state was deeply tormented until one day he decided to end it all. Sickness and madness seeped into his marrow as he gripped a large hammer. He wanted to cure his patients fundamentally. The props arrived just in time. This new prop can be combined with the new scene perfectly. It should be very interesting. Just then, Nathan suddenly called. Although I was annoyed that this guy pretended not to know me before, it was thanks to him finally calling the FBI that I was not surprised. Ryan didn't expect to make the school bell cry last time. His schoolmates are unexpectedly planning to come in a group for revenge this time. Listen to what Nathan said. They should be on their way here now. I must give you guys a good lesson this time. Ryan smirked to himself. However, before he could figure out how to deal with them, a big man suddenly appeared behind him. Looking back, it was indeed the Flower Protection Squad arriving. They sure act fast. Perfect timing. I will use you guys to help me try out a new scene. After a quick decision, Ryan immediately put on a smiley face. Haha, welcome. I have been waiting for you for a long time. I hope you all have fun on this adventure house trip. At this moment on the third floor, the three foolish guardians have entered a new scene. Looking at the layout around them, middle part guy couldn't help but ask in confusion, "Why isn't this the ghost marriage courtyard?" Nathan also looked puzzled. Only big guy, who was walking at the front, seemed indifferent, saying, "Who cares? My sandbag-sized fist is no joke." Before he could continue boasting, the radio broadcast began. The theme for this adventure is Midnight Hunt. Please do not take photos or videos inside the scene. Do not physically assault the actors, blah blah blah. The exit is hidden within the scene, with a time limit of 20 minutes. If visitors can't bear it anymore, they can shout, "Gidge," at the surveillance camera. "I'll take you out." Only Nathan, who has experienced it once, seems to have taken Ryan's words to heart. The other two still look disdainful and indifferent. Then let's use the special item we just obtained. Let me teach you a lesson. Ryan, now wearing divine equipment, brandished a powerful hammer. I have to say, this hammer is really powerful. This time, the hammer is indeed Mjolnir. Carrying it, Ryan felt like he was Thor. Before long, Ryan found the location of Three Foolish. Three Foolish also noticed the commotion behind them and turned around. With just one glance, Three Foolish instantly let their guard down. Hey, weren't you just full of confidence? Still daring to compare international gestures with me? Fuck. Watch me give each of you a blow. Under the pressure of the skin, Three Foolish completely lost the courage to resist. They could only escape in embarrassment. Haha, satisfying. Unexpectedly, the next second, Nathan, this foolish young man, actually turned around and ran towards Ryan. Oh my goodness! Big bro. I'm done playing. There's an evil doll chasing us over there. Are there real ghosts here? Ryan also looked confused when he heard this. Where did this evil doll come from? So Ryan forced Nathan to take him to the front of the evil doll. Isn't this the doll picked up in Peaceful Apartment? Ryan secretly wondered. How did it follow me back? Just as Ryan was puzzled, his phone notification rang again. New message. Congratulations on triggering the unique hidden quest of Midnight Hunt. Please fulfill Small Mia Yin's wish. Once completed, ghosts and creatures will be at your disposal. I have to say, this black phone sure knows how to play. Is this doll just Small Mia Yin? It seems to be attached to the resentment of a victim from Peaceful Apartment. Then I should catch the fake landlord and make sure he receives the punishment he deserves. Would that fulfill your wish? Ryan wondered. Boss, I feel like when you were just speaking, the doll's eyes seemed to light up. Ryan looks at the introduction page on his phone with some favorable impressions. Perhaps it was his recent words that made a difference. Huh? After seeing the interface on the second page, Ryan's temper flared up again. If I'm not mistaken, he said. This is the female ghost who sent a love letter to Ryan. Fortunately, both ghosts currently have some affection for Ryan. There's no immediate threat. Just need to work hard to elicit screams from the visitors. Or Ryan can complete the affection quest to resolve the situation. In the future, he will have these two teammates to help him. Completing other quests will also be easier. In the future, this will be your home, Small Mia. Don't run around. Be careful not to be stepped on by someone. Ryan saw a clock doll and laughed foolishly. Nathan couldn't help but visualize 10,000 alpacas running through his mind. However, he couldn't help but move closer. Boss, I wonder how my two senior brothers are doing. It was only then that I realized I almost forgot about the other two silly guys. At the same time, a scream came over. Nathan said that it was indeed the voice of middle part guy. But Ryan couldn't help but be suspicious. How did this guy end up in the grocery room? After they arrived on the fourth floor, they only saw middle part guy dancing wildly alone in the room, shouting, "I'll fight you!" Is this man insane? Clearly, there was no one around him, but he was so scared that tears welled up in his eyes, swinging a chair around frantically. He also pointed at the mirror and shouted that there was something dirty inside. Looking at the shattered mirror, Ryan also understood what was going on. It seems that the thing from before can still appear randomly in other mirrors. Ryan decided to first take care of the guys in front of him before doing anything else. Game over. Nathan, you take your senior brother out. After Ryan saw off the three foolish guardians, the phone rang again with a notification tone. Due to a recent increase in popularity, Adventure House has met the conditions for expansion. This is finally some good news. However, his top priority is still to first find a way to deal with the things inside the mirror. They seem to be able to attach themselves to people. If it's not dealt with sooner, it will really affect the business. Just as Ryan was thinking hard, he suddenly caught sight of Captain Lee in the distance. So Ryan hurried forward to ask about the situation, and listened as Captain Lee spoke. They found that Jason Zhang had recently appeared in the surveillance footage of the amusement park. He came this time specifically to investigate this matter. Captain Zhang is worried that Jason Zhang will come to retaliate against me. Ryan then gave a domineering reply. This guy is pretty brave, but Captain Lee, you can rest assured. As long as he dares to enter Adventure House, I will make sure he won't leave. I'm looking forward to him coming to find me early. Hee. If I can use him to lure away the things in the mirror, then won't I be over the moon if Ryan's little plan in his heart works out perfectly. After Ryan sees off Captain Lee, LSU immediately rushed up. Boss, what's going on with a police officer looking for you? I evaded her question and told her we were closing early today. You can leave work early. I have guests coming tonight and need to prepare in advance. Time passes quickly. It's midnight. By now, Ryan is fully armed. He sat quietly in the control room waiting for the fish to take the bait. Before long, Jason Zhang appeared on the screen. Upon seeing this, Ryan promptly called Captain Lee to inform him that the target had appeared and they were ready to take action. After Ryan's meticulous preparation, Jason Zhang's route had all been pre-designed. Other rooms were sealed off, forcing him to approach the room where the mirror was step by step. The hunt begins. I hope you won't disappoint me. The scene shifts to inside Adventure House. At this moment, Jason Zhang is cautiously advancing in the dark. This room is eerie, but thankfully I am brave. But once I take care of that kid, this will be a good hiding spot. At the same time, a dark figure suddenly appears in front of Jason Zhang. He immediately brandished his knife with a malicious grin when he saw the figure and rushed forward. Ha, Ryan Chen. You destroyed my apartment. This time I will definitely kill you. But the next moment, his smile instantly froze. With a stab, the figure in front of him disappeared directly. This eerie scene instantly left him at a loss. He looked around, thinking his eyes were playing tricks on him. After confirming that the figure had indeed disappeared, he couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Oh my goodness, did I just see a ghost? Just as he began to doubt his life choices, Ryan stealthily approached him from behind, wielding a big hammer. You are not mistaken. Just now, that was me, Ryan Chen, your grandpa. With one blow, Jason Zhang fell to the ground and couldn't get up. Even now, his mind is still full of question marks. Damn it, how could this Ryan Chen be so mysterious? A direct hit, but Ryan didn't rush to continue striking. He just stood still and stared at him. When Jason Zhang struggled to get up, Ryan continued to walk closer. Don't run, I didn't use much force with that hammer just now. Jason Zhang is a cripple to begin with. After taking a hit with a hammer, his movements became even slower. Ryan, on the other hand, was slowly trailing behind. It wasn't until he saw him enter the trap room that Ryan stopped in his tracks. Jason Zhang, hiding in the room, thought he had shaken me off. Little did he know, in the room he was in, there was a big surprise waiting for him. This Jason Jong looked at the ghostly figure in front of him. Jason Jong instantly wet his pants. No time for him to react. A ghostly figure in the mirror reached out a red rope and tightly bound him, and in no time, his fat body completely disappeared into the mirror. Just as Ryan was watching with great interest, Captain Lee suddenly rushed over with his men. Ryan pointed inside the house and shouted, "He's in there!" But when he turned around, he saw Jason Jong, the creep, jumping out of the window. He was trying to escape. Captain Lee and the others immediately turned around and chased after him. They told Ryan to stay put and not act recklessly. But how could Ryan just stand by? The current Jason Jong is not the same as before. The monster in the mirror is now walking with him. Seeing the blood words suddenly appear on the mirror, Ryan was at a loss. He didn't understand what the number 2 meant. But now, with the human and the ghost combined, he needed to find some help. Small Miain, I can communicate with it normally. Unfortunately, this doll can only act cute, with 0 combat power. Isla Zhang probably noticed Ryan's distress. She directly sent me an invitation. This ghost might be more powerful than the monster in the mirror. If I could get her to help me, then it would be stable. There is no other way. Ryan can only choose to accept Isla Zhang's invitation. Just clicked on OK, a bunch of new notifications popped up. Please arrive at the meeting place within an hour. West City Private School. And you need to find Isla Zhang's red dancing shoes before dawn. Don't be late for your first date. Headache. Ryan didn't expect his first date with a girl to be at midnight. Isn't this a little too exciting? Suburban midnight. I took a taxi to West City School. The driver couldn't help but ask when he heard the destination. Young man, what are you going to do over there so late at night? Ryan answered honestly that he was going on a date. The experienced driver immediately revealed a meaningful smile when he heard the words. He straightforwardly said, "You young ones really know how to have fun." However, along the way, the driver still frequently turned back to sneak a peek at me. Ryan didn't notice the distress signal in the car until he got off. He then realized, no wonder the driver was so playful. That's true, showing up alone in the middle of the night at this creepy place for a date. Who would believe that? Looking at the gloomy teaching building in front of him, Ryan was unexpectedly a little anxious. He decided to go all out. Since he's here, he can't stand up a beautiful girl. The most likely places for red dancing shoes to appear are the dormitory and the dance changing room. Well, then he should just go directly to these 2 places to take a look. Pushing the door open, Ryan was instantly shocked by the scene in front of him. In the empty corridor, there was only a chair quietly placed there. What the heck? It seems like someone is sitting there, waiting for Ryan. Don't worry. My girlfriend is a big shot in this school. I am here to have a date with her. Who would dare to mess with me? However, upon hearing Ryan's muttering, the chair seemed to be dissatisfied and started swaying from side to side, as if in protest. Ryan watched in astonishment. It's okay, he reassured himself. It must be the wind causing these strange things. I just need to avoid provoking them. Ryan comforted himself as he slowly felt his way forward. It wasn't until he saw a sign that read, "No entry," that he finally stopped. This must be the place. There's no smoke without fire. I really must go in and take a look with Ryan today. Ryan smashed the wooden block blocking the entrance with a hammer. He was once again stunned by the scene inside. What is this again? Fortunately, he grew up drinking poisoned milk powder since he was a child, so he is courageous. He shouted, "Be brave, cow," before going in. After seeing the scene inside the room, Ryan couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. It turns out it was plaster statues in an art gallery. They looked pretty scary at first glance. However, the environment here is quite eerie, although it's far from Adventure House. After bravely exploring for a while, the only thing left for Ryan to inspect was the door in front of him. Something seems off about this school. I'd better find my shoes quickly and make a run for it, Ryan thought to himself. When he pushed open the door and took a look, he was surprised to find 3 chairs inside the room. In the moonlight's reflection, he could still make out different names written on them, just as he was contemplating their significance. Suddenly, there were a few girls' laughter coming from inside the room. At the same time, several ghostly apparitions appeared next to the chair, staring at Ryan with sinister smiles. It seemed as if they were saying, "Hey handsome, come and play with us." Upon seeing such a bizarre scene, Ryan couldn't help but swallow hard. Damn it, stay calm. As long as he didn't provoke them, he should be fine. No pain, no gain. Ryan forced himself to stay calm and walked into the room. He cautiously approached the photo wall, speculating that he might find some clues there. In the photo, there were 5 people, but one person had been blurred out. For girls, 4 chairs. If each chair represents a girl, then what happened to all of them? And the girl who was painted over, is she Ryan's girlfriend Isla Zhang? Before he could guess further, the chairs behind him started to sway again. This time, 3 chairs danced at the same time. The sudden strangeness made Ryan's hair stand on end. However, he still suppressed his fear and shouted back, "What's all this ghostly noise? Stop moving! Believe it or not, I'll take you apart." Ryan's unexpected shout actually intimidated them. This boosted his confidence, and he strode over with a big hammer in hand. As he approached gradually, the figures of several girls became more and more distinct. Just as he was about to reach the chair, a phantom suddenly burst into tears, wailing miserably. At the same time, the body also began to shake rapidly. Feeling eerie at close range, Ryan couldn't help but stop. He was very puzzled about what was going on. The next second, he suddenly realized something. Is it because I just called Isla Zhang? Oh no! The wind swiftly tore past. But before he could take another step, several chairs quickly surged forward, instantly forming a surrounding formation and trapping Ryan within. Damn it! Do you really think I'm a pushover? Ryan was truly driven to urgency by this situation. He raised a big hammer, ready to fight back against them. But before he could swing the hammer, reality defeated him. Several pairs of nimble hands firmly held Ryan down. The doorway was also blocked by a chair. Ryan, whose fate was being choked, could only feel a moment of difficulty breathing. He could still vaguely hear them saying, "Let's go find someone who doesn't like and subscribe to play games." Cough, in great danger. Ryan had to try shouting his girlfriend's name, Isla Zhang. Unexpectedly, his friends heard his shouts and actually let him go. Maybe their strength was too great. I took a long time to recover and still felt my throat clogged. But he saw his friends looking terrified and distorted, while he was stunned. Could it be something behind him that was still strangling him? Something that even his friends were afraid of? Upon looking in the mirror, he was instantly stunned. He saw a figure with flowing hair, extremely eerie yet hauntingly beautiful. It was hovering around his neck in the air. Is this Isla Zhang? The beautiful figure did not hurt me, but leaned close to my face, at the same time pointing a finger at the mirror. I think she wanted Ryan to see something. Ryan followed her finger and looked over. The image in the mirror changed unexpectedly. At this moment, there were 5 girls dancing gracefully in the mirror. It should be Isla Zhang and her 4 best friends. However, at this point, they still looked like human beings. Standing at the very back, the girl, presumably Isla Zhang. Why does she feel a bit out of place? Looking at these scenes, Ryan suddenly realized that Isla Zhang might want me to understand what happened here before. But don't say more. The dancing girls are really innocent and beautiful. Ahem, let's focus on the important matters. In the picture, Isla Zhang actively tried to share candies with other girls, but they rejected her. These girls seem to be intentionally excluding her. Isla Zhang looks quite pitiful at this moment. At this moment, a letter suddenly dropped out of her backpack. A girl with quick eyes and quick hands picked up the envelope. Soon after, a few people started arguing. At the same time, a middle-aged man also appeared in the picture. The man is probably a teacher. As soon as he entered, he asked Isla Zhang to go to his office with him. Before long, Isla Zhang came back looking nervous. At the same time, it seemed like her clothes had been tugged at, and the teacher was chasing after her from behind. After Isla Zhang entered the room, she asked several girls for help. However, they all remained indifferent. This made the man even more ruthless. He showed a twisted expression and pounced directly. Isla Zhang could only frantically retreat. Intense fear made her unaware that behind her was already a dead end. Ultimately, this led to her accidentally falling off the building. This is the scene that Ryan saw on his phone initially. So that's how it is. The fat man forced Isla Zhang to death, and then forged her as his own. The silence of the other girls also indirectly led to her tragic ending. In the end, the victim became the taboo of the campus. Red dancing shoes, red and white school uniforms. Even her name became a topic that others could not discuss. I got it. Isla Zhang. I know all your stories. Rest assured, I will help you. At this moment, Jason Zhang and Mirror Ghost unexpectedly showed up. It turns out that this guy has been secretly following Ryan since the last escape. With Mirror Ghost's help now, he clearly has more confidence. He said that tonight, he would settle old and new scores together. But the next second, he was startled by Isla Zhang, who appeared behind me. Balfour was speechless, obviously recognizing the Mirror Ghost. Isla Zhang opened her red eyes and stared fixedly at these two troublemakers. She seemed very dissatisfied with the remarks Jason Zhang had just made about her boyfriend. Under the suppression of the aura, Jason Zhang was scared and kept retreating. He couldn't believe that Ryan actually had such a powerful helper. Jason Zhang, oh Jason Zhang, you always show up at just the right time. I just recognized my girlfriend. And you are in a hurry to come out seeking excitement. Just as the words fell, Isla Zhang roared out aggressively. The poor limp immediately collapsed upon seeing this and ran away. It's true that fear can really unleash one's potential. Ryan found himself unable to catch up with the speed of the limp for a while. But with Isla Zhang around, Ryan wasn't worried. He took out his phone to inform Captain Lee. After Old Lee received the call, he couldn't help but blame me for fooling around. That Jason Zhang is so dangerous. Haha, you can rest assured that I will take care of everything. I just happened to encounter Jason Zhang while handling things, and I even discovered a new case. For years ago, that girl from West City School fell from the building. It was not an accident. There is another hidden reason for her death. Ryan heard the surprised voice of Old Lee on the phone. Ryan went on to say, "Let's discuss this case in detail when we meet. First, come over and arrest Jason Zhang." Just after hanging up the phone, Ryan saw Isla Zhang coming back. I didn't have time to ask about Jason Zhang's situation. Just saw her pointing in a direction, seemingly wanting Ryan to go over there. Following her guidance, he arrived at the equipment room's entrance. It seems like this is the place. He pushed open the door. Instantly felt a piercing coldness washing over him. Isla Zhang let him in. There must be something hidden here. After searching the entire room, he noticed a cardboard box placed in the corner. Upon moving it, he found it filled with dance shoes. Could it be that more than just Isla Zhang was murdered? Ryan pondered as he searched. Soon he successfully found a pair of red dance shoes. This matter shouldn't be so simple. Isla Zhang, rest assured. I will investigate the truth and bring you justice. Just as he finished speaking, a series of new notifications sounded. Successfully finding the dance shoes quest is 50% complete. Isla Zhang's affection towards you has increased to. You are the one. You can make a wish to her, as long as it does not go against Isla Zhang's wishes. This last message is simply delightful. It was worth my heart pounding all night. Hee hee, I have already thought of my wish. That's it. I wish Isla Jean will always listen to me. I never expected that. Ryan has just entered the wish content. The phone sounded an alarm saying that it violated Isla Zhang's will. Please change it. Am I not handsome enough? Ryan wondered. This YouTuber tells you directly, of course, you are not as handsome as me. I hope Isla Jean will protect me from harm. I lost. I hope Isla Jean does not harm me. Do not have murderous intentions towards me. That should be possible, right? Ah. This damn thing. This won't work either. It seems Ryan's wife is quite rebellious. Tried many times without success. I can only put this matter on hold for now. Captain Lee's phone call just came in. He said they have already arrived at the school. As the scene switched, by the side of the road, I explained everything I saw and heard tonight to Captain Lee. Captain Lee indeed teased me after listening, saying, "Little Chen, why do I feel like wherever you go, there's a case waiting for you?" He saw Ryan losing his edge. He then continued, "All right, no more jokes. Rest assured, if what you said is true, we will definitely bring justice for the victim." Meanwhile, a police officer ran over and reported to Captain Lee that Jason Zhang's whereabouts were not found in the vicinity. Captain Lee looked slightly surprised before. He quickly regained his composure. "Ryan Chen, I will arrange for someone to take you back. We will continue to search nearby. After you return, please don't run around everywhere." Ryan could only obediently agree to old Lee's instructions and hastily raised his hand to make a promise. When he returned to Adventure House, it was almost dawn. Looking at the grayish sky, Ryan couldn't help feeling emotional. If he had to go on this kind of quest a few more times, even if he wasn't killed by the ghost, he might just exhaust himself first. But fortunately, the gains were not bad. The quest was successfully completed, and he also became closer to Isla Zhang. Although she is a bit rebellious, at least she is pretty good to me now. I found that the glass of the window in front of me was actually broken. Was it a thief who got in? Then, I discovered through my phone that Jason Zhang was hiding behind me. This guy is really clingy. The next second, Jason Zhang wielded a knife and stabbed towards me. Fortunately, I discovered him first and dodged his attack in time. The sneak attack failed. Jason Zhang instantly became furious. "You are as slippery as an eel. But this time, let's see who else will come to help you." I also got angry when I heard that. This crippled guy has tried to kill me several times. I am prepared to take ruthless action as well. Attack first to gain the initiative. I hit him square in the face with a hammer. I thought I had succeeded, but I didn't expect that after I hit him with a hammer, he could still stand. I took a closer look and found out that it was actually Mirror Ghost who helped him block the hammer just now. Can't do this, can't handle 2 against 1, time to retreat. The situation is not good, I have to make a quick exit. But how can one outrun a ghost? I saw Mirror Ghost flash past, and the next moment he appeared in front of me. In an instant, he knocked me down. I, who was pressed to the ground, could only raise my hands to resist with all my might. Misfortunes never come alone. Jason Zhang, this creep, saw me still struggling on the verge of death. He then raised the knife and stabbed towards me. Your mother is lost. Am I really going to die here this time? In a critical moment, I can only seek help in desperation. Just randomly tapping on the phone. I can't believe I stumbled upon success like a blind cat encountering a dead mouse the next second. Suddenly, countless red lights emerged from the phone, just like a tornado destroying a parking lot. In an instant, it filled the entire room. The sudden turn of events left me dumbfounded. As the red light gradually dispersed, Isla Zhang's figure suddenly appeared in the air. At this moment, Isla Zhang's long hair was waving, blood trickling from the corner of her eye. Her eerie giggle seemed extremely sinister. But in my eyes, she shone like a dazzling angel. The savior has arrived. Before I could say anything, Isla Zhang's long hair pierced into Mirror Ghost's body like a sharp sword. Just by hearing its howls of pain, one could deeply feel the heart-wrenching agony. Jason Zhang also got scared and stopped in his tracks when he saw the scene. "What kind of ghostly thing did you summon, kid? This is too scary." I didn't pay attention to this curious baby's question. This guy almost got me killed just now. I approached him with a heart full of anger and a big hammer in hand to smash him. With a crisp sound, I successfully smashed this creep away. I watched Jason Zhang lying on the ground and not getting up. I couldn't help but let out a sigh, finally resolved it. On the other side, Isla Zhang also dismantled Mirror Ghost into pieces. I looked back and couldn't help but be shocked. I saw that Isla Zhang had completely changed her art style at this moment. She was stuffing two dark objects into her mouth. She was chewing noisily and with relish. It felt as if she was enjoying a sumptuous feast. Halfway through the meal, a loud burp signaled the end of the battle. Watching this scene, I couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. How does it feel like this girl hasn't had enough to eat yet? Suddenly, a black shadow swiftly passed before my eyes. When I came to my senses, I only felt a sharp pain in my eyes. It seemed like something had flown into my eyes. After looking in the mirror for a long time, I didn't find anything unusual. Oh well, it must have just been a mosquito. I sat down in a corner and took out my phone. I told Captain Lee about the news of Jason Zhang being arrested. Old Lee scolded me again after hearing that, but finally it was over. I hung up the phone. I just felt weak and collapsed against the wall and fell asleep. The next morning, I was already back in bed. The aftermath of Peaceful Apartment has been cleaned up. The issue with the mirror has also been resolved. Next, we can start thinking about expanding Adventure House. Oh well, I'll go back to bed for a little nap. When I wake up, I will talk to Uncle Shu about renting the basement. I hadn't even closed my eyes for 2 minutes when my phone rang. It was a call from Ella. What happened to little Ella? She didn't open the door in the morning, and now she's working in the afternoon. Boss, wake up quickly. Many police officers and journalists have come to Adventure House. Did you do something wrong? I jumped up at the words, puzzled by the dense crowd of people outside the door. Boss, why don't you turn yourself in? I feel like this has already become a big deal. Fuck your mother, what first? I'm fine, I'll come down now. I quickly cleaned up and just opened the door to go downstairs. I saw a chubby police uncle walking towards me. You are Ryan Chen, I am surnamed Yen. I got to know your situation from old Lee in West City. Haha, Captain Lee. I was puzzled by his words. I have no idea why this chubby uncle is looking for me. I hope nothing serious has happened. Who knew that the fat Uncle Shu Tai pulled out a box from behind and loudly called the nearby media to come closer. Then, under my puzzled expression, he started his speech. Comrade Ryan Chen assisted in the capture of the criminals from Peaceful Apartment and provided crucial clues. I now represent the organization to present him with the honorary medal. It turned out to be a public commendation for me. What a relief. For something that can increase the popularity of Adventure House, I naturally can't resist and accepted the medal with a smile. I even intentionally struck a few more poses. After that, Ella Shu came over and showered me with a flurry of compliments. Give it a rest. Just now you were the one encouraging me to be honest. Go cool off on your own. Uncle Shu is coming to find me. After dismissing little Ella, I started discussing my idea of renting a warehouse with Uncle Shu. Uncle Shu was originally not very agreeable. After all, the foot traffic at the amusement park is extremely dismal now. The next door is about to build a virtual amusement park. He's worried that I might be jumping into a fire pit. But after my repeated insistence, he finally agreed to help me contact the chairman to explain the matter. In no time, he returned with the contract. It seems that the chairman agreed very readily. After arriving at the basement, I looked at the huge area. I couldn't help but squeal with joy. In the future, We can set up new scenes here. Wait until the scenes gradually take shape. The turnover is still not taking off. I can already imagine the scene of the pinnacle of life. Ha ha ha. No more words. Let's get straight to work. I just need to pull out the scene on my phone screen, and it will appear in the corresponding area in reality. I have to say this setting is simply too user-friendly. It's directly virtual mapping reality. Midnight ticket booth. Soon the ticket booth was built, with functions introduced. Midnight ticket booth has a 1 in 1,000 chance of attracting special visitors. These visitors may become your allies. Can you play like this? Does becoming an ally mean you can recruit them as members of the adventure house? Without waiting for me to think more, little Ella's exclamation came in. It turns out that this girl saw a suddenly appearing building and felt very confused. So I casually made up a reason and said that we had just hired someone to build it last night. From now on, that will be our territory. This girl is easily fooled. She just believed my nonsense directly, and even praised how great it was. Then she took out her phone. Boss, many hot search topics are about your photos now. And there is news about our adventure house too. Just as I was about to look closely at my handsome photos, I suddenly received a system prompt. The first special guest has appeared. I looked around. The sun was shining brightly. It's a bit outrageous to go out at this time with ghosts and creatures about. At the same time, a mother and child appeared behind me. Hello, boss. May I ask if there's a half-price ticket for children? I turned around and was instantly captivated by the child in front of me. I saw that the boy was emitting black smoke all over his body, which looked extremely eerie. Is he the special visitor? To ensure nothing goes wrong, I cautiously brought him to the ghost marriage scene with a 1-star horror rating. I didn't expect him to come here. Even the campus belle of the medical university was scared and peed herself. He seemed to be in a real amusement park. He was having a great time, and he even specifically headed towards the spooky places. His parents were terrified when they saw him like this. His parents hurriedly stepped forward and pulled him back. At this moment, Ella Shu, dressed as the ghost bride, happened to appear, giving the parents a big fright. The little boy, on the other hand, upon seeing Ella Shu in her makeup, excitedly moved forward to hug her, as if he really liked her. I watched the two people happily playing in the distance. I couldn't help but sigh. This child is really special. The parents also mentioned the reason. Since her parents had an accident a few years ago, she has become like this. Even seeing a psychologist hasn't helped. Ella Shu was stunned when she heard this and said, "Aren't you her mother?" I am Aunt Fan of little Leo. Both of little Leo's parents are teachers at Twilight High School. Years ago, they suddenly disappeared. So little Leo has been with me since he was 5 years old. But I have never dared to tell him about his parents' disappearance. After seeing off the tourists, Ella Shu can't help but reminisce about what just happened. That child is really interesting. Not afraid of me at all. He even held my hand and looked for things in the scene. I looked at her in confusion. Ella Shu continued saying, I asked him what he was looking for. He said he was looking for heaven. The first special visitor has left. You made the right choice during this time. Congratulations on unlocking the hidden trial quest, Twilight High School. Screaming Index 2 stars. After experiencing all 4 branching quests in this scene, and still surviving, you can unlock the scene. Quest prompt. Arrive at the quest site before 2300 hours today. Survive until dawn. Quest requires that everyone has a deep and unfathomable well in their hearts. The well is buried with unspeakable and unbearable memories. Looking at this series of new notifications, I felt a chill down my spine. With no additional requirements, just to keep me alive until daybreak. Seems quite simple. In reality, it is far more dangerous than Midnight Hunt. Immediately I chased after the direction the two people had left. I need to gather more information from them. The boy is the initiator of this trial quest. There must be clues to the quest on him. But when I arrived at the roadside, the two had already prepared to get on the car. I couldn't make it in time, so I had to flag down a taxi. I asked the driver to follow the direction of the bus. As the scene changed, I had already followed to the door. Looking at little Leo's parents with a puzzled face, I hurriedly explained, "I am the owner of Adventure House. Just now, I heard you talking about little Leo. Suddenly I thought that I happened to know a psychologist. Maybe he can help take a look at him." Unexpectedly, she became even more cautious after hearing that. Sometimes silence is better than words. With a sudden inspiration, I reached out and took out the newly acquired medal. I explained it once again. After checking the medal, Aunt finally let her guard down. "Come in. Little Leo is sleeping in the room. I can tell you about his specific situation first." According to Aunt Fan's description, 3 years ago Twilight High School had not been closed off yet. Little Leo's parents went to the school in the rain to look for their lost son. It was on that rainy night when little Leo's parents went missing. According to Aunt Fan's analysis, their bodies are very likely hidden inside the well at Twilight High School. And throughout the whole process, little Leo may have been a witness the entire time. Upon hearing this, I also understand why little Leo has become so reclusive. But I couldn't help but ask one question. Did you adopt Leo Fan because you don't have children of your own? After hearing my question, Aunt Fan directly broke down and cried. I was completely caught off guard by this. She actually had 2 children before. It's just that they died when they were very young. Upon hearing this, I quickly got up and awkwardly apologized. I immediately changed the subject. Fortunately, you and Leo Fan can still rely on each other. This has helped alleviate her sadness. After half a moment of silence, the woman suddenly got up and walked towards the storage cabinet behind her. It seemed like she was looking for something. She began speaking while searching. My brother took a very strange photo the day before the incident. It was taken in a restricted classroom at Twilight High School. There are rumors that the classroom is very sinister. There are rumors that the ghost of a crematorium worker attends classes in there. There are also rumors that a worker was killed inside. My brother had too much to drink the day before the incident, so he stayed overnight at the school. From what he told me, he encountered a group of students as he passed by that classroom, who pulled him in to take a graduation photo together. When he woke up, he was holding this photo in his hand. I looked at this picture. I also feel that the content on it is very eerie. The students in the photo are all facing away from the camera, and they are all standing on tiptoe. Aunt Fan pointed at the photo with a serious expression and added, "I checked. Twilight High School didn't take any graduation photos that day. My brother and sister-in-law must have been killed by these ghosts." Just then, I suddenly noticed Leo Fan hiding behind the door with a creepy expression on his face. His eyes were fixed on me, and his mouth slightly open. It seemed like he wanted to say something to me. Aunt Fan saw him coming out and immediately greeted him with a smile. She introduced me to him as Brother Chen, who had just been to the amusement park. Leo Fan still didn't speak. Instead, he reached out and handed me a note. I opened it and saw that it was a painting. Vaguely, I could see that it was a black house. The red part inside should be a person. Aunt Fan also became a commentator at this time. This child usually doesn't like to go out, always hiding in the room by himself. He likes to draw when he has nothing to do. If the doctor you mentioned can help little Leo improve, then it is really. Thank you so much. I put away the drawing paper, replied that I would contact the doctor to come over as soon as possible, so I'm ready to go back. After walking out of the neighborhood, I was thinking back on what just happened. I always feel like there is something wrong with that woman. But for a moment, I couldn't figure out what the problem was. Closed classroom, mysterious water well, and the painting of a little boy. Are all inside that black house ghost? My head hurts. It seems like my trip to Twilight High School tonight. It must be super dangerous. Forget it. Let's just make the best of it. This silly male lead. He actually went to the haunted school alone in the middle of the night and live-streamed himself playing the pen ghost game with a seemingly confused mind. And the next second, he got scared out of his wits. Ahem, just kidding. Let's continue. In order to complete the horror quest announced on the phone, I had to rush to Twilight High School before midnight. When I tried to get a taxi to take me there, several taxis refused to drive me upon hearing the destination. It was a rainy night in the middle of the night. After much effort, I finally found a car willing to send me nearby. However, after arriving at the destination, the driver threw away the cushion I sat on and ran off. It seems like this place is really spooky. But for the future of Adventure House, I had no choice but to bravely enter Twilight High School. Upon stepping into the school, my phone immediately displayed a new notification. In addition to the main quest of surviving until dawn, there are 4 side quests: the 5th stall in the haunted bathroom, the water well, and the sealed classroom. To successfully unlock the scene, you must complete all quests. Looking at each one is comparable to a Nightmare Quest side quest. I can't help but feel overwhelmed. Are they trying to push me to my limits? While it's not yet midnight, I must quickly complete the side quests. Considering that the sealed classroom may be the source of the supernatural, I chose to check out the dormitory building first. Just arrived at the dormitory building, I was immediately drawn to the first room. Under the flashlight's beam, I could vaguely see a desk in the dorm room with paper and pens on it. Upon closer inspection, I saw that the paper had writing on it. It said, "When will I die and how? Who will be next, etc." It seems like this is the site for the Pen Ghost quest. Hello, online friends. I am about to start live streaming. Today, let's play the Pen Ghost game. Those who are timid can mention a friend to watch together. Comment with an interesting emoji for good luck. I am currently in a female dormitory at Twilight High School in the western suburbs. It has been closed off for many years, so the environment may be relatively old. However, the paper and pen on this desk are quite new. It seems that someone played the Pen Ghost game here later. Without much ado, I will give it a try too, haha. After a brief introduction, I sat down and began the summoning ceremony. I won't disclose the incantation here, hee, so that the audience can try it themselves. As the incantation was recited, 3 apparitions suddenly appeared around the table. Feeling the chill beside me, I sneakily glanced over and broke out in a cold sweat instantly. Damn, how come 3 of them appeared at once? The next moment, 3 pairs of dark hands quickly reached out towards me. Immediately, my hand holding the pen was out of control. It was as if it were being held by the dark hands. Automatically, it drew circles on the paper. Regarding this bizarre scene, I had to console myself that the pen ghost had heard my call. So, I forced myself to stay calm and asked the question, "Do you know where my parents have gone?" Just as the words fell, the pen in hand made a sound of breaking. I'll go. Is this problem too difficult? Or shall I ask a random one? Let's finish this quest quickly. Can you tell me, Pen Ghost, who will be my future wife? This time, there were no more accidents. I saw the tip of the pen moving slowly on the paper. I stared at the gradually forming characters. But I was once again stunned. Shu, could it be LSU? Before I could even laugh out loud, the pen stopped moving again. I could clearly see more and more cracks appearing on it. Before long, the whole pen completely shattered. This sudden turnaround, it made me dumbfounded and stiff. It didn't give me time to react. Countless red lights instantly covered my eyes. When I regained my senses, a shadow resembling Isla Jean has appeared in front of me. Unreasonably, the coercive little ghost changed the answer to the question, erased the character that was just written, and replaced it with Isla Zhang's name. That's right, this spirited young man is me. I'm speechless looking at the answer on the paper. The girl named Isla Zhang is my ghost girlfriend. I never thought that she would get jealous just by playing a simple game. However, I dare not say much about this. I can only recite the spell disappointedly, ending this game of pen ghost. Although there was an accident, after this turn of events, the popularity of the live stream room unexpectedly surged to as many as 20,000 viewers. This is what they call turning a mishap into a blessing. A viewership of 20,000 has broken my previous record. When will my YouTube channel reach 20,000 subscribers? Thank you for your support. However, I would like to remind everyone, the content of the live broadcast is purely for entertainment purposes. Please do not imitate it. After completing the pen ghost quest, I plan to finish the quest in the 5th stall of the restroom. There are 3 hours until midnight. I should have enough time to finish the remaining 3 side quests. As I was contemplating my quest plan, my phone suddenly rang. I picked up the phone curiously, wondering who would still be contacting me at this hour. A voice came through. It turned out to be Chloe Gao's dad. He mainly wanted to check on Leo Fan's situation. Yes, he is the psychologist I recommended. Upon learning the caller's identity, I immediately greeted him warmly. I then proceeded to share Leo Fan's age and basic information with him. This little boy particularly likes dark places. Unlike in the sunlight, he appears very active at Ghost House. And he is also very interested in the actress dressed as a female ghost at Adventure House. After listening to my introduction, Professor Gao's voice suddenly became serious. He indicated that Leo Fan may have bipolar disorder, a condition often characterized by destructive behavior and self-isolation. As for the changes that occurred at Ghost House, it is very likely due to something different about your ghost house. He really hit the nail on the head with that statement. I instantly understood the reason for the situation. The biggest difference between my ghost house and the outside world is that there are actually ghosts in my ghost house. In other words, Leo Fan likes to come to Ghost House because he enjoys being with ghosts. The cause and effect became clear. However, I suddenly felt a cold shiver down my spine. I recalled the painting that Leo Fan handed to me in the beginning. There are many red tiny figures living in the black house. Now it looks more like the room they live in. If the previous guesses are correct, are all these red tiny figures? Are they all ghosts? Leo Fan's parents were killed on a rainy night a few years ago. He was an eyewitness at the scene. The killer definitely had no reason to spare him, knowing the truth. Unless the killer knows Leo Fan or Leo Fan himself is the killer. The more I deduce, the more absurd it becomes. So much so that I forgot I was still on the phone with Professor Gao. I was startled by his sudden greeting. After coming to my senses, I exchanged a few words with Professor Gao. I mentioned that I would take Leo Fan to see him when I have the time, then ended the call. Unknowingly, I arrived at the dormitory's bathroom. Taking a deep breath, I walked into the restroom. I counted from left to right, 1, 2, 3. After confirming the location of the 5th stall, I didn't hesitate and opened the door directly. The next second, the scene inside the door shocked me. I saw only the walls of this stall. The walls were covered in a dense pattern of eye motifs, giving off a very eerie feeling. After scanning carefully for a few rounds, I discovered a rather unique pattern. Upon closer inspection, I unexpectedly noticed 2 tiny figures hidden inside. It seems like the person in compartment 6 is peeping into compartment 5. Recalling the description of the black phone, a red figure always appears in compartment 5 at midnight. However, besides this concealed pattern, I haven't discovered any trace of the red figure. Do I need to wait here until midnight? Roughly guess the completion conditions of the quest. I reached behind and pulled out a big hammer. Let's confront it head on. No matter who comes, they will be met with a hammer first. I hid in the 6th compartment and took on the role of a creep. It's my first time being a creep, and I want to backstab the ghost. It feels a bit exciting to think about. Not long. I heard hurried footsteps outside the door. But through the eye pattern, I saw an unexpected scene. Two little brats ran into the fifth compartment unexpectedly, and those eyes on the wall disappeared. This is a bit awkward now. How did the red shadow turn into kids? If I hammer down, won't I be bullying ghosts too much? Suddenly, I realized something again. Could these two kids be the siblings mentioned in another quest at the deep well? Could it be? Are these two children Ant Fan's kids? But why are they here then? They seem to be hiding from something very scary. As expected, the next second, a red figure appeared in the fifth compartment. Seeing this red figure, the two children cried even harder. Meanwhile, hiding in the next compartment, I took everything in my sight. Directly swinging the sledgehammer, I smashed through the walls of the compartment. I closed my eyes and shouted wildly, swinging the sledgehammer frantically. Immediately, I only heard a crisp muffled sound. I successfully hit the red ghost shadow. The red shadow, when hit, actually revealed its true form, but it seems like it hasn't fully manifested. The ghost shadow lay on the ground crying for a few moments, then immediately sprang up, rushed out the door, and fled. Seeing this ridiculous scene, I couldn't help but be stunned. Has this guy forgotten his own identity? He really embarrassed the face of ghosts. The girl behind is still crying, making me extremely irritated. I directly yelled at them. What are you crying for? They are all ghosts. Stop pretending to be victims. When I shouted, even the boy next to me started crying. It seems like I am the ghost. I was just about to ask a few questions gently. The two children ran out crying. No matter how loud I shouted, I couldn't stop them. In a flash, they ran out of my sight. Heaven knows, they were just acting all pitiful moments ago. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared. I kept complaining as I chased after them in the direction they vanished. Soon, I arrived at a rundown office. Were these two little rascals intentionally luring me here? I circled the office and unexpectedly found Leo Fan's backpack on the desk. So, this place should be Leo Fan's father's office desk. To hear what Ant Fan said. After being rejected by many schools, why did Leo Fan end up at Twilight High School? What was the reason that led to him being excluded from all regular schools? This teacher, who is already a father, turned out to be a perverted voyeur with nothing better to do. He loves to sneak into the stalls of the women's restroom to peek at students using the toilet. I am chasing two ghosts. I followed them to an old office. I happened to find Leo Fan's father's desk. However, just as I was about to see if there were any new clues here, I was suddenly shocked by what was in the drawer. Multiple letters accusing Leo Fan's father. The contents on them really refreshed my understanding of this respectable teacher. In other words, the person peeking in the sixth compartment is Leo Fan's father. These 3 letters and notes are all different, indicating that at least 3 people know about his dirty habit. Teacher Fan left these notes in order to identify these individuals through their handwriting. However, the strong tone in the letters doesn't seem like something a victim would write. Could it be that they were the ones who threw Teacher Fan into the well? On that rainy night, Teacher Fan and his wife disappeared at the same time. It's hard to imagine a group of students could make 2 adults vanish without a trace. The letter also mentioned a girl. The writer wanted Teacher Fan to apologize to her. So, if I can find her, all the problems will be solved. After some analysis, once I found a breakthrough, I encountered a new difficulty. The girl may not even be alive now. Finding her will undoubtedly be very difficult. The clues were lost, so I had no choice but to head to the sealed classroom. I planned to complete the other 2 quests before midnight. However, this quest is not easy either. The most rumored story about this classroom is that during a school outing, the bus had an accident and everyone on board died. However, people passing by later claimed to see students attending class inside. Next, I will reveal the truth for everyone. As I entered the classroom, I found that it was no different from the other classrooms, just a little quieter. After further exploration, I suddenly found a desk with paper and pen on it. I leaned in for a closer look, only to discover densely written words on the desktop. From the content, it seemed to be written in the tone of the girl who was being spied on. It appears that the moving eyeball in the bathroom left her with a deep psychological trauma. I carefully read each word. Accidentally, I pushed the pen on the desk off the tabletop. The next second, a hand reaching out from under the table suddenly appeared. It caught the pen that was about to fall. I naturally took the pen from the hand of Ghost and absent-mindedly said thank you. It wasn't until I straightened my back that I belatedly realized what that hand was all about. The more I thought about it, the more guilty I felt. Cold sweat unconsciously broke out from my forehead. In the end, courage triumphed over fear. I tightly gripped the large hammer and turned around to shout, "Who is it?" At a critical moment, the phone alert rang again. The classroom where no one had ever entered before. People crowded in as soon as it was midnight. This damn alert. It plunged me into endless fear again. Damn it, it's almost 12 o'clock now.